Good morning, children. We are doing social studies in class 7th, part 3rd, social and political life. Lesson number 3, we are doing the state government. As we know, last year also we read three types of government are there: the central government, state government, and the local government. You read in 6th standard about the local government. Okay, now in 7th standard we are reading about the state government. Okay, look in your book. Last year we discussed about three levels of government in India: central, state, and local, and did a thorough study of how local bodies function. This year, we will discuss about the government at the state level. As I told you, we are learning this, the state government and how they work. Our constitution clearly defines the power of the state governments and the extent of its authority. Laws for governing the state are made by its legislative assembly. The procedure of making and passing laws is called legislation. A legislature is a formally chosen body of people empowered with the authority to make rules and regulations. लेजिस्लेचर क्या है? इलेक्टेड मेंबर्स की एक संस्था है जो कि कानून बनाती है उस स्टेट के लिए. इस लेजिस्लेचर एट द स्टेट लेवल इज आइदर यूनिकैमरल और बायोकैमरल. विधानसभा और लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली इज द लोअर हाउस, while विधान परिषद और लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल इज द अपर हाउस. एक्सेप्ट आंध्र प्रदेश, बिहार, Jammu and Kashmir, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Uttar Pradesh, all other states have unicameral legislature. Legislative Council. Vidhan Parishad or Legislative Council exist only in 7 states. Members of a Legislative Council, MLCs, are indirectly elected. The council comprises one-third members elected by MLAs, one-third members elected by local bodies, 1/12 by graduates living in the state, 1/12 by teachers of secondary schools, colleges, and universities, and remaining 1/6 nominated by the governor. Since it is a permanent body, only one-third members retire every second year. हर 2 साल के बाद में 1/3 members इसके retire होते जाते हैं. Every member has a tenure of 6 years और इस तरह से उनका tenure, उनका period 6 years का होता है. The meeting of the house are presided over by the chairman and in his absence by the deputy chairman. Now, state key we have divided into two parts: legislative assembly and legislative council. Legislative assemblies में नॉन परमानेंट हाउस इलेक्टेड फॉर 5 years, हर 5 साल के लिए एमएलएस इलेक्ट किए जाते हैं. और लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल में 1/3 मेंबर्स वो रिटायर होते जाते हैं, तो इनका 6 years का होता है. नाउ इधर स्पीकर एंड डिप्टी स्पीकर और नीचे एमएलएस होते हैं, और इधर जो है चेयरमैन, डिप्टी चेयरमैन एंड एमएलसीज होते हैं. ओके, नाउ कम ऑन नेक्स्ट पेज. सी दैट most of the states in India have legislature bicameral or unicameral. None of these. Most of the states में क्या है? कौन सी है? बायकैमरल है. ठीक है, ठीक है. हाँ, और नेक्स्ट देखो. सेकंड, द लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल्स एक्सिस्ट ओनली इन देश स्टेट्स. लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल्स कौन कौन से स्टेट्स में है? काउंसिल्स ओनली इन 7 states. 7 states, 4, 5 और 6 है, तो इसमें आ जाइए 6 स्टेट है लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. ओके, हाँ, 1/6 nominated. Okay. Now next is Legislative Assembly. For the sake of elections, states are divided into smaller areas known as constituencies. Registered voters of the region elect one representative from each constituency to the Legislative Assembly. They then become members of Legislative Assembly. These MLAs belong to different political parties. The number of seats in Legislative Assembly depends on the population of a state. The Constitution defines that it should not be more than 500 or less than 60 in addition. If the Anglo-Indian community is inadequately represented, the governor can nominate a member. The political party that wins more than half the constituencies in the election is said to be in majority. This party forms the government and is called the ruling party. For example, recently assembly elections were held in Uttar Pradesh for the 403 seats. Since the Samajwadi Party won 2 to 4 seats, it emerged as the ruling party in the 2012 assembly elections. At times, one single party does not get a majority, so it allies with two or more like minded parties to form a government. Such a government is called a coalition government. The rest of the members elected to the assembly are called opposition. In this case, Bahujan Samaj Party was the major opposition party as it won 80 seats. We are talking about 2012 elections. The Legislative Assembly normally has a tenure of 5 years. However, under special circumstances, it can be dissolved earlier. All meetings of the Legislative Assembly are presided over by the Speaker or, in his absence, by the Deputy Speaker. Besides taking votes on issues, the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker maintain order in the House. After the declaration of election results, the governor invites the leader of the majority party to form a government. The MLAs of the majority party elect a leader who becomes the chief minister. After the 2012 Uttar Pradesh Assembly election, the MLAs of Samajwadi Party those Akhilesh Yadav as their leader, and he became the chief minister. The chief minister selects the ministers, allocates portfolios, and coordinates the function of various departments. The ministers who had various departments represent the government in the legislative assembly and are responsible for the execution of the laws. The chief minister and other ministers are collectively responsible for running the affairs of the government efficiently. The governor is the nominal head of the state and is appointed for 5 years by the president. He is the representative of the central government and oversees the working of the state government. Now this lesson is about 2012 इलेक्शंस. इस समय तो वापस से इलेक्शंस हो रहे हैं यूपी में, और अभी जो है मुख्यमंत्री योगी सरकार है और बीजेपी की सरकार है वहां पर. फंक्शनरीज ऑफ ए स्टेट. द गवर्नर इज द नॉमिनल हेड ऑफ ए स्टेट एंड इज अपॉइंटेड बाय द प्रेसिडेंट. प्रेसिडेंट के द्वारा राज्य के गवर्नर को नियुक्त किया जाता है फॉर ए पीरियड ऑफ 5 years, 5 years के लिए. The term can be extended or the governor can be removed any time by the president. A governor is to the state as president is to the nation. President nation का चीफ होता है, मुखिया होता है और लीडर होता है. उसी तरह से फर्स्ट पर्सन स्टेट का गवर्नर होता है, फर्स्ट पर्सन नेशन का प्रेसिडेंट होते हैं. All bills passed by state legislature have to be approved and signed by the गवर्नर. और सारे जो स्टेट के लॉज बनते हैं, कानून बनते हैं, उन सब पे गवर्नर के सिग्नेचर होते हैं. जैसे कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में प्रेसिडेंट के साइन होते हैं. द चीफ मिनिस्टर इज द रियल हेड ऑफ द स्टेट. और सारी पावर किसके पास में होती है? स्टेट के चीफ मिनिस्टर के पास में. ही और शी एडवाइजेस द गवर्नर ऑन द council of ministers to be selected and their number. The chief minister assigns portfolios to the ministers and appoints a deputy chief minister if required. The Council of Ministers, including the Chief Minister, cannot be more than 15% of the numbers of members of Legislative Assembly. The Council is divided into three categories: Cabinet Ministers, Ministers of State, and Deputy Minister. A Cabinet Minister can hold one or more portfolios and is assisted by the Minister of State and or Deputy Minister. The MLAs meet in the Vidhan Sabha. Several meetings of the Vidhan Sabha take place over the next 5 years. At every sitting, several matters concerning the states are discussed. इसमें क्या है कि जो MLAs है वो सब मिलते हैं और उसके बाद में किसी भी विषय पर कानून बनाते हैं जो विषय वहां पर दिए हुए होते हैं. आ गया समझ में? और इनका जो है द स्पीकर कोऑर्डिनेट्स दिस डिस्कशंस. The speaker's job is to ensure that everybody gets time to present their opinion and the MLAs listen to each other peacefully. It is up to the speaker to decide which issue could be discussed and in what order. Now take the correct answer. The day selects his ministers, allocates portfolios and coordinates the function of various departments for the state. चीफ मिनिस्टर, यहाँ पर चीफ मिनिस्टर आएगा. सेकंड है द कोऑर्डिनेट्स एंड डिस्कस्ड इन द विधानसभा. स्पीकर, चेयरमैन और चीफ मिनिस्टर. स्पीकर आएगा. ओके, नाउ सी डिबेट इन द लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली. यहाँ पर डिबेट दिया हुआ है. यू हैव टू रीड दिस डिबेट. ओके, नाउ वी आर कमिंग ऑन द पेज नंबर 213. हाउ ए लॉ इज इम्प्लीमेंटेड. The law is published in a book called the Gazette and is sent to government officials like the collector, and on it is the collector's responsibility to ensure the implementation of the law. Function of the government. In the assembly, the MLAs make amend and ratify laws. A bill proposal for a new law or to amend an existing one can be introduced in any house. Members then debate on it, make changes, and finally vote on it. When both houses approve it, the bill is sent for the government assent. Once he signs, it becomes a law. An assembly is not the only place where issues relating to the working of a government are discussed. In a democracy, people are free to express their opinion and they adopt different approaches to do so. Newspapers, magazines, and television channel frequently conduct discussions and debates on the way the government is dealing with an issue and criticize or praise the actions of the government. Let's look at one such way of functioning. After the heated debate in the assembly on health care and apathy of public health care, the government decided to organize a press conference in which it was going to clear its stand on public health care system in the state. The health minister was going to address a large gathering of journalists from all leading dailies. Now अभी भी क्या है, कोरोना के टाइम में जो है प्रेस रिपोर्ट होती है और रिपोर्टर्स जर्नलिस्ट इकट्ठे होकर के वहां पे जाते हैं और वो बताते हैं कि कोरोना के क्या है. न्यूज़पेपर में भी आप देखें तो हर समय कोरोना अपडेट आता रहता है. The minister explained that he has urged the district magistrates and chief medical officers to ensure that all hospitals are well equipped with necessary supplies. No patients should be turned away and doctors on leave should be asked to join duty immediately. If required, अभी कोरोना के टाइम पे भी यही हुआ था. If required, new staff may be employed. More funds will be made available to the districts to open more health centers in the remote areas. Besides, an inquiry committee is being set up to look into issues related to sanitation in the state. The Public Works Department has been asked to deal with water related issues on a war footing. The health minister also mentioned that awareness campaigns to fight dengue and malaria have already started. Within a few months, mobile hospitals equipped with the latest facilities will start operating in the remote areas of the state. This clearly indicates that the chief minister and his ministers not only make laws but are also accountable to the people. They implement laws relating to agriculture, public work, law and order, and revenue through various departments. For example, to deal with water crisis, the government can direct the municipalities to install bore wells in the area or channelize water from the nearest source to that area by laying pipelines or by cleaning and disinfecting wells in the surrounding areas. This also highlights that besides being answerable to the opposition party in the assembly, the government is also answerable to the media who question the actions of the government on behalf of the people, to which the government responds by holding press conferences. तो टाइम टू टाइम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस होती रहती है और बताते रहते हैं कि ये काम किया गया है और ये किया करने जा रहे हैं. In a democracy, people elect their representatives and send them to the assembly. If people are unhappy with the working of the government, they can voice their displeasure and can demand a change in the laws. Now, children, we have completed this chapter, and answers I will send you, okay, on the WhatsApp. Okay, goodbye, children. Take care of your health.